For Saturday, the 27th of September, 2025. I've got a new microphone, so I hope this works out pretty good. Maybe it's going to be too loud. I don't know. But anyway, it's a new one. It's supposed to be good for this kind of thing, for podcasting and so on, blogs and so on and so forth. So here we go. Reading today is called Live a Life True to Yourself. And the first quote is from Danielle Koch Balfour, who says, being consistent with your desire to live a life of purpose requires dedication to staying aligned with the values you hold dear. Being consistent with your desire to live a life of purpose requires dedication to staying aligned with the values you hold dear. And Ernest Holmes says, when the time comes that nothing goes forth from you other than that you will gladly have returned to you, then you will have reached your heaven. So always send out what you would love to get in return. And this is another story from our writer, Mary Davis, who says, years ago, my mother sent me a short article on speaking the language of no. She used to tell me that I couldn't be all things to all people, and that this short piece was in keeping with her advice. I reassured her often that I was not overextended, but in truth, I always felt like I was behind and groaning under the weight of my long to-do list. Many of us have the tendency to put others first. While this can be rewarding, I've learned that if we give to the point of exhaustion and leave little time for ourselves, our giving energy is short-lived and our divine purpose is short-changed. By asking ourselves what's truly important and acting on the answer, we step into greater alignment. The decision is always ours to make, and there's no time like the present. In, quote, the top 5 regrets of dying, unquote, Bronnie Ware reports from the bedsides of those with only a little time left. Many share this number one regret. I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. We don't have to wait to live a life that is true to ourselves. Saying no is not selfish. It's spiritual self-care. When we say no to what's not in alignment with our authentic selves, we honor our deepest truth. Let's say yes to what inspires us. Let's say no to what depletes us. And in doing so, let's open up space for the lives that we are meant to live. I remember the late, great Reverend Marshall Lehman, who was a minister at our spiritual center, who passed away a few years ago. And she always used to remind all of us that no is a complete sentence. And I'm sure you've heard that before. No is a complete sentence. And for a lot of us who were, shall I say, inclined to actually help others, that it's part of our natural inclination, it can be really hard to say no. But I think I'm learning to be able to say no. And as my wonderful colleague, Reverend Lisa Ryan, who will be on Creative Life Spiritual Center's Facebook page tomorrow morning at 9:15, will remind you, most likely, that self-care is incredibly important. And one big part of self-care is, guess what? It's being able to say no. Having said that, there are ways and means of saying no, just like there's ways and means of doing everything. I know in mediation, the way questions are phrased has an enormous impact on what the answer is. So when you say no, I had an aunt, and I've mentioned her before. She's long gone, so I'm not hurting her. That she prided herself on being abrupt and just being blunt and straight to the point, to the extent that it often upset and hurt a lot of people. No, that's not the object of the exercise. When we say no, we say it in a polite way, such as, hey, David, do you think you could come back to the center this afternoon and help install that camera? And I would say, well, I would really love to do that. However, I'm already committed. I've got stuff to do. So with great respect, I'm sorry, I can't do it today. There are other times when I could be available, but this afternoon, I'm just not. So the way that you say no is also incredibly important. So it's important to say no, and the way you say no is also incredibly important. Oh. The affirmation, I let go of all that does not resonate with my soul. I let go of all that does not resonate with my soul. I see clearly what should remain in my life and what can be released. I see clearly what should remain in my life and what can be released. So, and as I always say, if you don't like those affirmations, that's okay. Make up your own in the same regard. So this is short for today. Remember, as I reminded you, my colleague, Reverend Lisa Ryan, created my Spiritual Center's Facebook page tomorrow, 9:15. Also on that same channel at 11 a.m. will be our weekly service. If you've never attended one of our weekly services, my leader, the Reverend Dr. Jesse Jennings, is a phenomenal speaker. And if you've never heard him, do yourself a treat and tune in and listen to him at 11 o'clock. He'll actually come on speaking at about 11:15 because we have announcements. We have a meditation to start with, and then, well, we have a meditation, we have an opening song, and then another song, and then he'll start speaking. So he usually comes on speaking about 11:15. So I will be back tomorrow around about 5 p.m. My colleague, Reverend Lisa Ryan, as I mentioned, will be on tomorrow at 9:15. From all of us here at Creative Life Spiritual Center, and from all of us in the Dewhurst household, and all of us at Prosperity Living, we wish you a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day. And that is my prayer for you, that you have a wonderful rest of the day. Namaste.